Alright, guys. It is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022 at 9:09 p.m. Alright, let's take a look at dailyversus.net versus the day. It says, whoever would foster love covers over an offense, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. Proverbs 17:9. Alright, let's start where the U.S. condemns fourth North Korean ballistic missile test in a month. It's been confirmed that early Monday morning, North Korea launched a pair of ballistic missiles which fell into the Sea of Japan. Crucially, this marked the fourth major weapons launch in less than a month, but after last week, Pyongyang claimed to have conducted successful hypersonic missile tests. The DPRK state media describes the latest test was of short-range ballistic missiles of the KN-24 type, which accurately hit the designated targets in the Sea of Japan at a distance of about 380 kilometers and reaching Mach 5. So North Korea still testing missiles. Alright, next. Oil spikes to fresh 7-year high after a key Iraq-Turkey pipeline explosion. Alright, so it says little is known about the cause, but the explosions at a pipeline connecting northern Iraq and the port of Ceyhan in the Mediterranean has taken 450 supplies offline in an already very tight crude oil market. So some oil being taken off market. It says Iraq-Turkey oil pipeline halted after explosion and fire, says the Turkish state-owned operator BOTAZ. The line usually carries 450 kilobytes a drum from northern Iraq into the Mediterranean port of Ceyhan, BOTAZ statement. So this is from Javier Blas on Twitter. So there was an explosion. It says the pipeline has been halted back in 2012's blast blame for saboteurs halted the link of several months. The headline sent oil prices spiking with a whopping $86 a barrel in October of 2014. So who knows what this is going to cause for the oil prices here, but apparently this explosion has halted the pipeline. Alright, heads up, I'll leave the link to the article so you guys can check it out as well. Alright, next, experts are warning that empty shelves and food shortages are going to continue for many weeks to come. The term return to normal is being thrown around a lot these days, but will things ever truly return to the way that they were before the pandemic came along? I don't think so. From an economic standpoint, an extraordinary amount of lasting damage has been done over the past 2 years. A seemingly endless list of major problems has thrown thousands upon thousands of critically supply chains into complete and utter state of chaos, and this has resulted in some very painful shortages. For quite a while, the mainstream media kept insisting that the shortages would soon be gone, but now they are being forced to admit the truth. If you can believe that the NRP has been published a major story about the growing shortages of the country, now you're not imagining it. Some grocery store shelves are bare again, conjuring bad memories of the spring of 2020 for many. Social media is strife with images of empty supermarket shelves and signs explaining the lack of available food, and other item stores such as Aldi have apologized to customers for the shortages. Nobody in the mainstream media ever imagined that the shortages could last this long. For certain items such as computer chips, the duration of the shortages is now approaching 2 full years. Of course, the fear of Omicron has made things even worse. An expert interviewed by the NPR suggests that supermarkets in the U.S. are now facing a perfect storm. We're really seeing the perfect storm, Phil Lampert, editor of the website supermarketguru.com, told NPR. Isn't it strange how the term just seems to keep popping up all over the place? One major issue the supermarket on the East Coast are currently facing is greatly increased shipping costs. Many Americans don't realize it, but much of the fresh produce that we enjoy is actually grown in a handful of western states. In fact, 99% of walnuts, 97% of kiwis, 97% of plums, 95% of celery, 95% of garlic, 89% of cauliflower, 71% of spinach, and 69% of carrots are grown in the United States come from the state of California. To get all of that produce in stores in the East has always been a major production, but today it has also become exceedingly expensive. Growers on perishable produce on the West Coast are paying nearly triple pre-pandemic trucking rates to shipping things like lettuce and berries before they spoil. So, heads up for everybody who has to go to the grocery store to get food. It does not seem that it's going to get better. So please, if you have the time or if you have the money, for those who don't have the money, just get small items and slowly stock away and start preparing your food pantries. Start stocking away food. Start saving food, rice, pastas, canned goods, because you never know when that might help you in a moment of emergency. You never know if stocking away food will save you in a time when the food shortages are just affecting all the grocery stores. So please pray for everybody who is experiencing food shortage issues because we all need it. Alright, next. AT&T and Verizon push back 5G rollout over concerns about airplane interference. Alright, so the 5G, I made a video previously about the 5G possibly coming out. It says much of the relief of travelers everywhere. It appears AT&T and Verizon have decided to delay the rollout of their part of their 5G networks that have been deemed to be dangerously close to vulnerable airports. As we have discussed below, the aviation agency is still reeling from the disastrous and deadly 737 MAX 8 rollout, warned about potentially deadly accidents that could result in some signal interference related to the 5G rollout. In a statement, an AT&T spokesman said the company wouldn't roll out its 5G service in select areas near a limited number of towers around certain airport runways as we continue to work with the aviation industry and the FAA. So there's some areas will not be rolling out their 5G. Who knows if other areas already have it? I heard somebody comment in my comment section that Miami had 5G, but I don't know if they have it close to the airports. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I heard that Miami has 5G already rolled out. So some areas may have it, some areas may not. So heads up on that. Alright, next. Drone sightings above Swedish nuclear power plant triggers an investigation. Sweden has been noticing strange sights around their nuclear power plants, and while sightings like these may not receive attention outside of the local press, the tensions with Russia across the Baltic Sea has made the situation particularly tense, following sightings of large drones flying above all three of Sweden's nuclear power plants. Swedish police deployed patrols and helicopters to the four-mast nuclear power plant in Stockholm to look for evidence of the drones. Unfortunately, the patrol came back empty-handed. So that's something that's curious, and who knows what the true purpose of these drones around these nuclear power plants is. But I'll leave you guys the link so you guys can check it out as well. Alright, next. China coal production hits record to avoid energy crisis. Many of the U.S. and Western world are spending the most on electric bills, forced to eat the fake meat and paying a lot more in taxes for green initiatives. At the same time, China ignores the Green Revolution by ramping up record coal production in December. China, the world's biggest polluter and consumer of coal, produced a record 384.67 million tons of the dirtiest fossil fuel last month, up to 7.2% YOY compared to the same month a year ago. The month prior, production was up nearly 14 million tons for a full year. Output reached 4.7 billion tons, up to 4.7% over the previous year. So China increasing their consumption of coal. Alright, I'll leave you guys that link as well. Alright, next, Federal Pipeline Agency shifts focus to cut methane. The Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration is readying the first ever restrictions on methane emissions and planning to press pipeline companies on the issue in the coming months, making a significant shift for the federal agency traditional focus on safety and oil spills. The PHMSA has given a broad new responsibility by Congress to limit greenhouse gas emissions, and thousands of inquiries it's planning to make to companies about their methane emission this year will be some of the earliest tangible signs of the mandate. Congress is very clear that we must not just reduce these emissions, but we must do all we can to minimize these emissions, Tristan Brown of PHMSA's deputy administrator said in a speech late last year. In the late 2020, Congress ordered pipeline companies to update their inspections and maintain plans to find ways to reduce methane emissions on January 29th, 2021. So, look out. Also, they're cutting the possibility of methane. Alright, guys. And finally, Microsoft buys game maker Activision Blizzard for about $70 billion. Microsoft is paying an enormous sum of nearly $70 billion for Activision Blizzard, the maker of Candy Crush, Call of Duty, a deal that would immediately make it a larger video game company than Nintendo, while raising question about the deal's possible anti-competitive effects. So heads up, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless you guys.